Hello, everyone. Hello, hello. Come on in the room, get settled. Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday. Happy final day of November. That's crazy. That is weird. I can't believe the year is almost over. Hello, hello. Come on in the room, get settled, get comfortable. I am Mambo. I am founder and facilitator of the Charm School program. I am cover mother of Vision of Dawn Tour. I'm a dope bitch straight up out of Oakland, and I am your weekly reader. If you've been here before on a Sunday, you know what this is. This is the weekly energy reading. This is where I come in and give you guys a little bit of insight into the week ahead of us, just so that we can be prepared for anything we need to know of. And with tomorrow being the start of December, the final day, the final month of the year, I think that this is going to be a really fantastic and a really important reading. Hello, Nicole. Hello, Tori. Hello, Tiffany. Thank you all so much for being here. I'm going to go ahead and jump straight into it. I'm a little low energy today. So here's the thing. I have a workaholic issue. I don't know how to stop, even when I'm exhausted. And today, one of my clients made me reschedule. They were so sweet. They just heard my voice and were like, Mambo, we got to do this another day. Like, you need to rest. So that was a little bit of a wake-up call for me. The fact that my client told me I need to go and sit down. So that's something that I'm really going to try to work on. Not try, that I am going to be active on working on in December, is being more deliberate about my rest and my peace. But we're going to go straight into the reading now. If this is your first time here, first off, hey, hello. Nice to meet you. Thank you for joining. If you came here because you saw me post in a group that I'm going to be taking questions from the audience, I absolutely will. I always do. But I do that after I've gotten through the general weekly forecast, okay? So my request is that you hold your question until I've gotten through all four of the spreads for the general forecast. We do a general reading, love and romance, finances, health, and wellness. And then once all that is done, I will pause, give updates, and then take questions from the audience. Okay? All right. So hopefully we're all on the same page. I'll go ahead and get started. Using Tarot of the Divine, finally went ahead and replaced her. Hopefully this one doesn't grow legs and walk away from me. But we'll see what comes up for us. Ancestors, angels. Apology in advance. I thought I turned my dryer off. I did not. So at some point, if you hear a beep, don't judge me. It's Sunday. Hopefully y'all do y'all linens on Sundays. So please remember that, life is still life and things still go on, even though we do these segments, okay? What do we as a collective need to know about the week of December 1st through the 7th? Please give us the wisdom and insight that we will need to navigate the energy of the next 7 days ahead of us. Challenges, experiences we will have over the next week. Any wisdom shared is deeply appreciated. Make sure you hit that like button as you come into the room. And if you know anyone that would benefit from this reading, who likes tarot readings, go ahead and send the link to this video to them, okay? When I was younger, I used to hate the phrase time heals all wounds. I thought it was BS. But it really does. Like, sometimes time is the only thing that can get you to really release something, because it's the distance and the shift in perspective that allows you to see it differently. As we enter this final month of the year, there are several of you guys who are coming to grips with some sort of heartbreak that you've had a hard time holding space for up until now. I think you gain clarity on why this heartbreak needed to happen, how it plays a role in your overall maturation, how it prepares you for a bigger life lesson, and how that bigger life lesson has a role in your legacy, right? Ten of Pentacles. This is one of my favorite cards. It's the card of generational wealth, but it's also the card of legacy, right? What are the things that you learned that can turn either into material wealth or knowledge and wisdom that can be passed down to the generations after you, that build on the wisdom and the knowledge that came from the generations before you, right? And again, as we go back to this Three of Swords moment that a lot of us are processing, yeah, it hurt, yeah, it was painful, but it's not something that you can't recover from, and it's also not something you're supposed to stay in. It's something that was meant to make you sharper, right? So this is a week where we really put, I don't know why Spirit wants me to say foot to ass, but we put foot to ass. I'm saying it because they told me to. We put foot to ass. We put the pedal to the metal. We put the wisdom into action that we gained, right? Eight of Pentacles being the card of refining your knowledge, refining a skill set, really sharpening your wisdom and understanding so it turns into blessings, material blessings, right? Out in the world. This is a month of expansion, absolutely. And this week sets up the tone for that expansion, but it's expansion that comes from some sort of heartbreak you had to have. And here's the thing. You may not be able to control the people around you, but the wisdom you got helps you understand yourself better. Hermit, Virgo energy, self-reflection, personal critique, personal refinement. So even though you have this lesson, it's not so much that the world around you shifts, you shift. You have an internal shift because you have further clarity about the path directly ahead of you. So I love this energy for us. I love it. And again, Nine of Pentacles under the Ten of Pentacles. So not only does it turn into wealth that you can pass on to other people, it gives you personal stability, right? You have knowledge about the kind of life and pleasure and legacy you want to have. You're much clearer about how you want to protect your space and have joy and abundance within your space. I actually love this representation of the Nine of Pentacles, right? This is a week where we really settle into our blessings. And we also have a lot of celebration. King of Pentacles, right? King of Pentacles, the leader, the builder. You get a lot of insight into the future you want to make for yourself. For a lot of you guys, this is about literal business and commerce. But for many others, this is just about thinking about who you want to be as you go into retirement. Thinking about what it is you want to shift in terms of your career, and also thinking about the kinds of comfort you want in your life, right? That's the thing about King of Pentacles. It's Taurus energy. That's why I love that this is a tortoise, right? Slow and steady winning the race, being very, very deliberate, being in your observation, having consistency. It may look like you're not moving or being productive to everybody else, but you have an awareness of what it is that you're doing. Hey, Denisha, good to see you. So I love this. I love this for all of us. The first week of December is one of, yes, recovering from heartbreak, but not recovering in a woe is me way, recovering in a way where you're like, okay, I'm done with sitting in this lesson. What does this lesson give me in terms of thinking about my legacy, in terms of me being able to refine myself, right? How does it make me sharper? How does it make me wiser? And how does it give me wisdom about the type of peace I want in my life? Because we always think about the wealth of Nine of Pentacles, but we forget about the fact that it's not just independent wealth and luxury, it's peace. It's somebody who's been able to cultivate their own environment of peace, that they don't compromise for anyone else. And I love this for us. I think this is a very beautiful energy to be wrapping up the final month of the year with and preparing for the. Since we had a reading with 6 cards and 3 of them were pentacles, I'm going to go into money next because that just feels right, okay? So let's look into what's in store for us as it relates to our money, our finances, abundance as we go into this final week or final month. of December, the first week of the final month of the year. Yes, sisters, angels, ascended masters, spirits, walk with me, my elevated ancestors, for wisdom do we as a collective need about the week ahead of us and what it has in store for us in regards to our relationship with money, prosperity, and expansion. Oops. I'm going to leave that one there. It's a good one. Give us insight into the kind of breakthroughs, challenges, lessons coming our way as it relates to money, finance, and expansion between December 1st and the 7th. Who do we need to be and what do we need to see about ourselves, our habit, and our environment that has impact over our financial health and wellness? Give us insight into the things we need to do to protect our money, to have our money multiply and increase as opposed to coming with limitations and blockages. And give us some shared is deeply appreciated. Hey, Dulcinea, good to see you. Clarify the Tower card. What do we need to know about the Tower? Give us wisdom and insight about the Tower. What is the Tower warning us about when it comes to money and finances? Card that fell out while I was shuffling was the Strength card. So there is something you all know that you should be doing as it relates to wealth and accumulation that you're not doing. And you're not doing it because you're scared. You're absolutely frightened. But you got to do it anyway, right? That is the energy of the Strength card. Strength is not the absence of fear. It's knowing that you have fear and doing the thing you need to do anyway, looking your challenges straight in the face and being brave enough to take them on. That is what fell out while I was shuffling, and this is the energy that colors the rest of the reading. This may not be the best week financially for a lot of us, and I'm just going to be honest. But we are being warned to not do anything illegal, not do anything shady, because you will get caught, right? Justice card is a literal card about legality and justice, but it is also a card of karma. So a lot of us, especially as we enter this first week of December, we are going to be getting hit with the karma of our financial choices. If you I've been begging all y'all for months now to not do a whole bunch of overspending just because you deal with holiday nostalgia. So if some of you guys went and overspent on Black Friday or whatever, thinking that you're going to get it back quickly, you are going to learn the hard way that that may not be the situation. Your overindulgence leads to deficit, right? But if you've been smart and you've been wise and you've been honest and you've been whatever, then that gets reflected in your finances in a really concrete way. Hello, Renee. Hello, Sanidra. Knight of Cups. A lot of you guys are not giving. Knight of Cups is also a card of charity too. We only think of the Six of Pentacles when we think of charity, but the Knight of Cups is somebody who's giving an offering, and it's typically through their creativity. A lot of us may not have additional money in our pocket to like go out and do angel trees or toy drives or things like that, but you may be able to donate your time. You may be able to pour into folks in some other way. But again, you want to use this last month of the year to think about, okay, how can I be charitable? How can I be giving? How can I pour support into the people around me in the ways that I would want to be? supported if I were in need, right? We have the Tower, and we don't like her. We don't like the Tower when she comes up. So some of us are going to be dealing with some difficulty around money. Some of us are going to have some sort of letdown or some sort of chaos that comes into our space. And it is something that we feared, right? That's why the Moon card is a clarifier. It's something that we've been avoiding facing, and that we've had a fear around, a shame around confronting, right? And that in running from that thing, it does cause a Tower moment of chaos. If you are able to pivot and to learn from this and allow it to shift your paradigm, then you'll bounce back very, very quickly, right? The thing about Tower moments is, yes, they're chaotic. Yes, they're uncomfortable. Yes, you feel like something's getting ripped away from you, but it's about how you handle it that dictates whether or not you survive it with ease, right? If you panic and just jump out the window, you're going to crash, right? But if you think of a plan and work with the wisdom of what the Tower is trying to teach you about what's not permanent, you'll survive. So I love that this representation is, what's that heifer name? Rapunzel. I love that the representation is Rapunzel, right? She can panic and jump out the side of the window, or she uses her ingenuity to figure out a way to get herself to safety, which is using her hair, right? So this is not going to be necessarily the smoothest week for a lot of us financially, especially if we, again, going back to the Justice card, have made poor decisions, have been shady, have been robbing Peter to pay Paul. That may catch up to us during the week of December 7th or 1st through 7th, right? Whatever the nature of this Tower is, this is not a moment to be prideful. Let people take care of you. If your Tower moment has gotten you into a position where you need support, don't be hard-headed. Don't be closed off. Take the support. Again, going back to that strength card that fell out while I was shuffling, that's the challenge that some of you guys struggle with. You like to be the person that has all the answers, that has all the resources. You don't know how to be the recipient. So the Ace of Cups being the card of the heart chakra, being somebody who's capable of receiving in equal measure of what they give. This is also what's going to help you this week. This is not a week to be closed off. It's not a week to be prideful. It's not a week to lack vulnerability, right? And that is the difficult financial lesson that some of you all are learning. Again, going back to that Justice card and what I said about the overspending, some of you guys don't know how to not overspend, especially around the holidays, because you don't know how to not keep up appearances, right? And that could be the painful lesson around maturation that some of you guys have to learn. My finances will come over appearances. Doing the right thing for me is more important than doing the thing that's going to give me external validation or make me look good to other people, right? We end with the 9 of Swords. Money is going to keep some of you all up at night over this next week. Just going to be honest about it. And the thinking back to the past, the thinking back to the overspending. Spirit is also saying overlending. Again, going back to that 9 of Cups. Some of you guys loaned money that you didn't have to loan. Some of you guys accepted money or accepted a loan from somebody that you know did not have good character or did not have good intentions when they loaned it to you. Literally the second they loaned it to you, they started lording that over your head. These are all things you need to learn from, right? To summarize, this is a week where you guys are going to have to learn some hard lessons around your money and how you treat your money, right? Overspending and assuming it's going to come back is not a wise way to move. Not being charitable when you have overflow is a symptom of greed, and it's not good energetically. I've been telling you guys for a while now, you need to do more charity. You need to give more. And some of you guys are, and it's not all of y'all, so don't have a hit dog holler moment. If you feel like it's not you, then it's not you. But if you know I'm talking, you don't get defensive. I think there are some of, especially with this current climate, some of you guys are really comfortable with thinking about the reasons why you can't give and why you can't be charitable before you think about the overflow that you have. And so when we are moving in ways that are manipulative with our finances, when we're not being charitable, when we're overspending, of course, that brings us to a place where we are likely to have a tower moment. We're likely to have some sort of heartbreak. Let yourself learn from this lesson. Don't be closed off, especially if somebody's trying to help you. And learn what you need to learn so that you don't steal your own peace and sleep. I now understand why this strength card fell out in the shuffle. Because there are things and habits that some of you guys know for a while you needed to change, but you've been fearful to, right? If I don't overspend, people will pick up on the fact, people will assume I'm not doing well. Okay, let them assume. Let them assume. Let them assume. But if you know it's the thing you need to do, if you know it's the challenge you need to face it, because not facing it is only going to lead to more problems in the long run, okay? Let's do health and wellness next. That feels right. Feels right to go. Hello, Martha and Roman. I don't know if you guys are two people, but hello, Aisha. Thank you for joining tonight. Ancestors, angels, and master spirits that walk with me, my elevated ancestors. What wisdom do we as a collective need at this time about our health and wellness as we go into the first week of December? Give us insight into any of the habits, ways of being, ways of thinking that we need to release, sustain, or increase in order to have a good balance of holistic health. If there are any challenges, blessings, breakthroughs, lessons, insights related to our physical, spiritual, and mental health and wellness, please highlight those in this reading so that we know how to best prepare. Any wisdom shared is deeply appreciated. My mom always said, don't loan what you can't afford. You would be surprised how many people loan money that they don't have, or loan money that they have, but do it to make people feel bad. You don't want to take money from everybody. That's something to be mindful of. And sometimes people will loan money just because it makes them feel good to say that they had an upper hand over somebody. And that's a difficult thing. Every handout ain't worth it. But yeah, don't loan what you can't afford, because if somebody's borrowing money from you, it's probably going to take them a minute to pay you back. So if you are loaning them something and then you're going to breathe down their neck about it every 3 minutes, were you really being charitable, or were you being controlling, right? Those are all things to think about. But let's look into what's going to come up with our health and wellness this week. So I'm going to switch decks. It could be, I did have a few readings earlier today, so maybe this deck is tired already. I don't know why. But the same cards came up from the last reading, and I just want to make sure that that's not a fluke, okay? So I'm going to go back to trusty Afro Anime. I know y'all probably sick of seeing her, but y'all going to have to deal with it. Let's see what comes up. Ancestors, what do we need to know about our overall health and wellness for the week of December 1st through the 7th? Give us insight into how we need to best take care of ourselves. If there are any deficits in our care practices, highlight those so that we can strengthen them. Shine a light on the things that we're also doing right and correct, so that we know how to continue to take good care of our heart, our mind, our body, and our soul. Any wisdom shared is deeply appreciated. You know, whenever I'm doing these readings and it seems like the exact same cards are coming up over and over again, it's one thing to have one card come up, but when it's the same exact cards over and over, Typically, that tells me that the deck needs to rest a little bit. So it's not just me. All of us are fucking tired. Like, exhausted. We have a couple of cards of exhaustion. We have the Ten of Swords. We have the Nine of Wands. We are very, very, very tired. This is a week, and it doesn't surprise me that this is the energy after the holidays. Some of us, hey, Jaleesa, good to see you. Some of us are going to have to really put some thought into exercising healthy boundaries with the people in our life, especially the people that come to us for advice, right? Queen of Swords is a card of healthy boundaries. She is the queen of emotional safety, quite literally. So she is good at saying what she means, meaning what she says, and also holding firm on what she says. This is coming up for two reasons. A, some of us are exhausted from all of the peopling and the the charisma that we've had to do over the past week. Also, some of us have more of this to do, right? There's a lot on our plate in terms of being in public space. People depending on us to be charismatic, to be leaders, to be organized, right? And you're not going to have the capacity to be at your full King of Wands if you are letting everyone drain you. If every time somebody has a negative feeling, they call you. If no one takes account for your breaks, right? If people assume, and this is one of my biggest pet peeves, when people assume that you have a free moment or you're not doing anything, that they have entitlement to your time. Those are all things that a Queen of Swords doesn't deal with very well, right? So, and this is why she gets interpreted as being a bitch, because she has such healthy boundaries and she's not afraid to exert those boundaries. But again, in order for you all to have the energy to get through the stuff you need to do this week with charm, with grace, in a way that allows you to hold a solid reputation, you are going to have to hold your space and your boundaries so that you don't wear yourself thin. Now, here's the thing. Some of you guys have known for a while that this is a thing you struggle with. So this is a painful thing that you've been avoiding dealing with. You don't want to let people down. You don't want to hurt feelings. You don't want to not be the person that answers the phone. Here's the thing. That shit's killing you. It's stressing you out. It's causing you literal pain. There's some of you guys, and it's people that you love, and you feel like you just got to take a nap. So, yes, it's a difficult cycle to close, but it's a cycle that needs to come to an end because it's not serving you and it's sucking a lot of your life force away. Okay? Now, again, part of the reason why you got to hold these boundaries is because there's a lot of shit that you got to get done for you this week. There's a lot of things that you need to do to set stuff in motion. Again, I just said we got less than 5 weeks. We got 4.5 weeks left in 2025. And a lot of you guys are already clear on how it is you want to rush into 2026, right? And with the Chariot being a card of ambition, with the Chariot being a card of going after what you want, a card of goal execution, not of will things work out for me, but how do I get to what I want to work out for me, right? You are going to have to be very self-focused and deliberate. There's a reason why you never see the Chariot in a representation but with other people, because it's about them and their drive and their ability to focus, okay? So a lot of us are going to be having to put our foot down. A lot of us are going to have to be like, oh, I'm sorry, not sorry, but I don't have time for you right now, energy this week, because we're already drained. We're already at capacity. 9 of Wands, right? The 9 of Wands is very much an energy of, nigga, I'm tired. And there's resiliency in the Nine of Wands, but there's also a warning about being careful, about not overburdening yourself to the point where you can't recover, right? So see that your healthy boundaries as a form of spiritual protection, yes, but also physical protection. Setting yourself up to not overexhaust yourself so that you don't get sick. You don't become the wounded warrior, okay? We end with the Magician. You have all the tools at your disposal to take back your time. The Magician is about the alchemy of creating the environment that you want. And a lot of you guys don't want to be the person that's always worn out. A lot of you all don't want to be the person that's always thinking about yourself last. So take the tools you have at your disposal to create an environment of good care for yourself, right? This is a health reading because a lot of you all are stressed. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. You are very, very stressed. You're very, very tired. And the reason why you're stressed and tired is because you're not doing a good job of holding healthy boundaries. And again, going back to the Magician, it's not because you don't know how, you're just not fucking doing it. So hold the boundaries. Tell some people no. Let them figure out their own things, because the things that you have in terms of responsibility, in terms of moving forward with your ambitions, in terms of being able to take up public space, that's going to require a lot for you. And you don't have the extra bandwidth to go into these endeavors exhausted because you got to listen to somebody complain about their baby daddy at 11 o'clock at night. Or, somebody wants you to deprioritize your focus on yourself to give them a whole bunch of attention. Those are things you can't do this week. Not only will it make you sick in the long run, but you will end up having some regrets. Okay? Let's do love. And then once we wrap up with the love reading, I can go ahead and take questions from the audience. I have the banner for Friday's reading, the leave it at the gate at the bottom, just because I know that there were some people that didn't get to get that on Friday. So if there's anyone here who wants that reading tonight, there's opportunity to get it tonight, but there's no obligation. Again, it's a Sunday night, so we're just doing general questions from the audience after the reading is over, okay? Ancestors, angels, and masters, spirits will walk with me. My elevated ancestors, what wisdom do we as a collective need about love, romance, and matters of the heart as we step into the first week of December 2025? Give us insights into any lessons, blessings, challenges, experiences, breakthroughs we have related to love, whether it be romantic or community, familial love, over the next 7 days. Who do we need to be and what do we need to see about ourselves, our habits, and our environment that will allow us to feel love, to receive love, and to love those we care about in the ways that we want to. Any wisdom shared is deeply appreciated. You got to give what you want from the world. You got to give what you want from the world. See, it's interesting because sometimes the themes slip through into the other sections and the other spreads. We were just talking about charity as it relates to our finances. Charity is coming back up as it relates to love. You have to be the love you want to receive from other people. You have to pour the love you want to get into other people. So this is a week where you really got to challenge yourself around how are you being loving? How are you pouring into other people? Are you pouring into other people? Are you looking at the ways in which people have deficit in their life and helping them out a little bit, right? If your sister is struggling with her kids, Will it kill you to take them for a night so that way she can actually take a bubble bath and not hear somebody going, mama, 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 right? If your wife is stressed out, maybe you need to take a couple nights where you either cook dinner or you Uber eat something in. So take a little bit of burden off of her. Pouring charity and love into people in ways that allow them to be seen and taken care of is not hard, but it does take observation, right? It does take awareness. It takes compassion, right? And that's the thing about the King of Cups. That's what makes him such a nurturing and loving person, is his ability to anticipate the needs of those he loves. So this is something you got to really pay attention to this week. It's really easy for us to get wrapped up in what we're not getting, what we're not receiving. But are we being the love we want to get from other people? And this Six of Pentacles, King of Cups combination is really, really asking us to reflect on that and to think about that, right? I think with these lessons, it opens up a lot for some of us, right? And these lessons are coming up because we're at a Wheel of Fortune moment. This is a time of fated opportunity. And the person that you are and the actions you engage in when you're having a Wheel of Fortune moment sets you up for how you experience that shift, right? If you are being a person that's loving and generous and kind, when the wheel turns in your favor for new love to come into your life, not only are you more likely to find a partner that's generous and loving and kind, they're going to experience you at your best, right? So these are all things to really think about and really prioritize this particular week. And the reason why this is coming up is because not only is the wheel turning in your favor, but people are going to be seeing you. There's a charisma and a light in you right now that's making people notice you, right? Some of us are wrapping up some big projects. We're hitting milestones. King of Wands is really good at going after what they want, right? They're always enrolling other people in their vision. And because a lot of us are feeling really confident and strong and we're taking up space in other areas of our life, that's going to translate into people being like, hey, I like that. I think I may want some of that. I think I may want to ask that to dinner or to go get drinks or something, right? So don't be surprised if people start to show interest in you within this next week or 2 weeks. That's another reason why this message about being the love you want to receive is coming up. Because it's one thing for somebody to like you because they notice your community work or they notice your energy, right? It's another thing for them to see beyond that and see a compassionate and generous person. Now, I'm actually going to put clarifiers over this because it's the only card that doesn't match the rest of the reading. Ancestors, clarify the Two of Swords. What do we need to know about the Two of Swords? Destiny says, I like video game guys. Okay. I assume that they gotta go outside at some point. Kind of not really sure why you're saying that to me. I see why this message is coming up now that I pull clarifiers over the Two of Swords. Some of you guys have an easier time showing up in your confidence and your charisma when you don't know that people are attracted to you. And it's almost like the second that you realize somebody's attracted to you, you cower a little bit. And a lot of this has to do with some sort of past rejection or heartbreak where it's like you're craving love, but you are not ready to be seen yet, right? So the Three of Swords coming up over the Two of Swords is talking about, okay, you got to learn how to let go of this fear and learn your lesson so that you can be open to the new opportunities for connection that are coming into your life. Ace of Swords is new beginnings, and it's new beginnings and it's intellectual spark. So this is going to be somebody who, yeah, they may be cute, but in first exchange is very much about y'all connecting on an intellectual level. You having shared thoughts, right? So try not to cower. Work on your emotional confidence, Queen of Wands. Queen of Wands is literally the queen of worthiness. She sits on that throne because she thinks she belongs to be there. She doesn't cower from people who are giving her attention, who are giving her praise, who are telling her she's beautiful because she believes that she deserves that. I said everyone like your video. Oh, I apologize. I misread your message. Thank you, Destiny. So work on being emotionally confident. And also be generous in giving, because the generosity you pour into people in your community is going to come back to you in your love life, okay? That is the love reading for the week. We are now at the end of the general reading. And this is where I take questions from the audience. Again, this is the Sunday weekly energy reading. No one is obligated to give me a love offering. I'm happy to answer questions for free. I do ask you to consider giving one for energy exchange and to honor my time, but it is not a requirement. The only time a love offering is required is if you want the Leave It at the Gate reading. The minimum love offering for that is $11.11. So if you did not get to watch my reading on Friday, the Leave It at the Gate reading is to tell you what your spirits want you to leave behind in 2025. So it's for them to tell you very clearly what you are not allowed to take into 2026 with you, okay? Speaking of 2026 forecast readings are available. These are the readings that I only give November through February, okay? So we are now in December. This reading will not be available after February 1st. It won't be available. So if you've not already booked your 2026 forecast reading and you know you want one, I'd like you to strongly consider, and I am suggesting that you go ahead and book that reading this weekend. Why? My biggest sale of the year is still going on. That's my Black Friday sale. If you book anything, if you make any purchases on my website over $75, and you use the code BLACK, BLACK, at checkout, you will get 35% off. So for example, if you want the full 2026 forecast reading that comes with the natal chart and all the bells and whistles, it goes from $175 to I think like $112. That's a big ass discount, okay? I promise you I will not be extending the sale. It ends tomorrow night at 11:59 p.m. There will be a Cyber Monday sale in its place, but it is not 35% off. So these are big discounts. So if you want to book the reading, I encourage you to book it. If you can't do it tonight, then do it tomorrow while the code BLACK, BLACK, is still functioning. Again, Cyber Monday sale starts tomorrow. So if you use that code, Cyber, you will get an additional discount, but it will not be the 35% off. Okay? So those are all my updates for now. Oh, last one, Charm School. We are taking in a new cohort. We are taking a new cohort in for Charm School. The new cohort will be starting January 15th. If you've been considering Charm School, if you know you need spiritual mentorship, I would like to strongly suggest that you sign up for the WhatsApp group. That way me and my girls can get you scheduled for an interview. And if you seem like a good fit, we will extend invitation to you and you can join us January 15th, okay? So the link to the WhatsApp for Charm School is below. I think that's all my updates for now. If there's anyone that wants the Leave It at the Gate reading, make sure you put that in the comments so that I know that you want the Leave It at the Gate reading, okay? And again, if you want to send just a general love offering, you can do so to my Cash App and my PayPal, both of which are scrolling below, okay? Let me scroll through these questions. Tiffany said they loved this week's reading. Thank you so much, Tiffany. When you start the questions, I'm going to go back to the beginning, Mambo. I lit a candle and prayed for you. Calendula dressed, so I'm very grateful to see you on here, although I always am. So don't get offended. Master Doula, who are you? Are you MJ? MJ? Okay, yeah. I think you're MJ. MJ, I was talking about you at the beginning of the reading, actually, about how you made me go lay down. I told them that I had a reading scheduled with someone, and they told me to go take a nap because I sounded tired. So I want to thank you for that, okay? Dulcinea, why do I keep thinking about Chris? Is it just my attachment issues? Okay, let's see. Ancestors, why is Dulcinea thinking about Chris? What is the reason for why she's thinking about Chris? Is this related to her attachment issues, or is there a bigger spiritual meaning here? If so, what is the nature of that spiritual meaning? Any wisdom shared is deeply appreciated. Thank you, Carrie. I'm glad to hear that your Thanksgiving holiday went well. That's awesome. Thank you for sharing that with us. Really, really grateful to hear that. Two cards are stuck together, so I'm just gonna read them as one, even though this is a 3-card spread, okay? Hold on one second. Okay. I think this might be related to your attachment issues. I think there's something about thinking about him that functions as a form of escapism for you. I don't think it's healthy for you to be thinking about him. We have the Hangman, which talks about a need for a paradigm shift. This could be the result of you either pedestalizing him or blaming yourself for something that's not related to you. So there's a way that you need to change your perspective or your paradigm when it comes to him. Also, I think this is a really interesting, even though these were stuck together, I think it's brilliant, right? There's some sort of need that you have that you want him to fill for you, but you should be filling yourself, right? Queen of Cups, when her cup is not full, she can be emotionally imbalanced, a little bit obsessive, engage in a lot of projection and escapism, right? So the King of Pentacles, along with the Queen of Cups, is saying you got to take better care of yourself, right? Taurus energy is really amazing at self-care. They're also really driven and focused. So there's something that you need to be giving to yourself or focusing on with yourself as opposed to thinking about him. But we have the Devil card. It's a little bit of an addictive thing, right? And that's why I say it could be related to your attachment issues. There's definitely some escapism that's related to thinking about him. And that's why I say it's not healthy. Between the Hangman and the Devil card, there's a need for you to just break this pattern because it is it's not helping you. It's a very unhealthy form of escapism, for lack of better words. Okay? Let's see. Dulcinea says the yearly forecast is a must. It's my favorite service that I give every year. But it is time consuming, which is why I only give it once. It's on my website all year long, but it's discounted this time of year, and I actually heavily push it during this time of year. And I do it for 2 reasons. A, it doesn't really help you to get an overview of your year in April or May when the year is, 5 months over. But also, I think sometimes when we do the yearly forecast, it sets us up to not be blindsided by certain things. About a good 65 to 75% of my readings are helping people navigate things that they're blindsided by. So if you just get the forecast reading and you have yourself prepared and you have this blueprint of dates and ebbs and flows throughout the year to be mindful of, it ends up just helping you tremendously. So I agree with you, Dulcinea. I think it's a must as well. Let's see. Tori wants to know what their love interests intentions are. I'm happy to answer that for you, Tori. I just want to not so much warn you individually, but warn other people as well. Sometimes when we ask the same question over and over again, not only will the answer not change, but it brings an energy of anxiety to a situation. And I'm only saying this because you've asked me this before. I think it's about the same person. I'm going to answer it, but I'm just letting you know that at some point you're going to have to trust what comes up in the divinations. Okay? Ancestors, angels, and masters, spirits walk with me. Elevated ancestors. What does Tori need to know about the intentions of our love interest? If there's any intentions that are hidden, please bring them to the surface so that she can be aware of what's coming towards her. Any wisdom shared is deeply appreciated. If anyone wants a leave it at the gate reading, go ahead and send your love offering and put in the comments that you want the leave it at the gate reading. I'd also like to let people know that yes, love offerings are not required, but they are appreciated, and I've not received one yet. So just want to put that out there, okay? Their intentions are good. 9 of Cups, they like you. They're grateful to know you. They're grateful to share space with you. They're grateful for the opportunity to be getting to know you, right? They would really like to be able to move into a future with you. They're already thinking about what the next steps are going to be. What are the ways that they can fit you into their life long term? They think that you are beautiful. They think that you are charismatic. They think very highly of you. So I'm just seeing all good intentions from this love interest story. I'm not seeing anything negative or anything to be leery of at this time, okay? Okay. I think I'm going to do 2, maybe 3 more questions, and then I'm going to call it a night. I think that's probably what needs to happen today. Let me scroll back up. All right. Superzar wants to know, their first wedding anniversary is this weekend. Should they do anything special or save and stay in? Okay. Ancestors, angels, ascended masters, spirits walk with me. What should Superzar be doing in honor of her first wedding anniversary? Should they do something big and extravagant, or should they do something cozy and intimate? What would be the best way for them to celebrate their wedding anniversary? Any wisdom shared is deeply appreciated. Clarify the 9 of Swords. What is the 9 of Swords trying to tell us? Yeah. Stay in, save money. I think you guys need to develop traditions that are that don't require like money and spending. For two reasons. The energy of y'all have been running yourselves ragged. Like you've been burning the wick at both ends. So there is some exhaustion that's there. And if that exhaustion is not honored, that can lead to frustration. Nine of Swords felt random as an answer to your question. So I pulled some clarifiers over it, and I got the Five of Wands and the Ace of Pentacles, right? Ace of Pentacles is a card of promotion, but it can also be a card of investment, right? So you don't want to set up the habit that the anniversary is an opportunity to have to spend money or invest money into something, right? It low key, because y'all are already tired and worn out too. If you try to go out or if you try to plan something extravagant, y'all gonna end up bickering. Y'all are gonna end up bickering. And now I understand why this came up over the Nine of Swords. Because y'all's nightmare situation is to have a shitty anniversary. And if you force yourself to go out or to do something extravagant that you don't really want to do, it's going to lead to you guys bickering. And that's not going to feel good, right? That's not a memory you want to have of your first anniversary. So we end with the Queen of Swords. It's okay for you guys to just focus on yourselves. It's okay for you guys to spend it at home doing something intimate. Maybe writing letters, maybe creating some sort of scrapbook or something of that nature, because the Queen of Swords is the queen of writing, right? I see that you should do something intimate. I see that if you guys force yourself to go out and do something extravagant, y'all are just going to end up bickering over it, and it's going to frustrate you at the end of the day. Okay? All right, I've done 4 questions so far, and I've not received a single dollar. So I think I'm going to do one more, maybe 2, and then I'm going to call it a night. Because I have 6 more questions and not a single love offering, and that's a lot. So I'm going to do Nicole and then one more person after Nicole. Dreamt about 5 people, one tall black man who was happy to see me like family. There was a couple, all felt like family. This older white woman kept saying, "I've got it. I'll bail you out." I'm going to do my best with this one. You guys asked me to do a lot of dream interpretation on here, and it's not my preferred modality. Because sometimes you guys' dreams have a lot of things going on, and it's hard to answer in a 3-card reading. I'm going to do my best, because that's a lot of elements. Ancestors, what was going on in Nicole's dream? What does she need to know about the dream? What was the message here? What should she take away from the dream and focus on at this time? Any wisdom shared is deeply appreciated. The tall black man in your dream is an ancestor, and he is a protector. You don't task your ancestors with protection enough, and in tasking them with protection more, it should bring a lot more peace and ease into your life. Empress, right? Empress goes into spaces thinking things are going to work out for her. She's really tapped into her creativity. And a lot of that happens because she is deeply and divinely protected, right? Also, your profile is about to increase. Something is about to come in your life where there's going to be a lot more eyes on you, right? And so this need and this desire to have someone in your corner or an ancestor in your corner that moves and functions like a sniper is really, really important right now, okay? So that's what I got from the dream. Don't know what the older white lady is about, but again, this is the best I can do in a 3-card live reading here on this situation, okay? Thank you, Aisha. I appreciate you tremendously. I'm going to do one more, and then I'm going to go ahead and get out of here for the night. Master Doula, since we already have time booked together later this week, I hope that you would be okay with me skipping you, just because we're already going to talk in a day or two. So I'm more than happy to answer your question then, okay? I thought this my court. Yeah, this is somebody in your spiritual court. Absolutely. It is somebody in your spiritual court, and it's an ancestor in your spiritual court. Let's see. I'm going to end with Sanidra. Sanidra, you can be my last question. Sanidra wants to know, where do my ancestors feel about our next PCS should be where all of us will be successful, prosperous, and happy? What is the PCS? Because I just want to make sure I'm answering correctly. I don't know what a PCS is. Oh, okay. Ancestors, angels, ascended masters, spirits to walk with me. What wisdom do Sanidra's ancestors have about the next military move? Where would they like to see them go? What is the wisdom that she needs at this time so that her family can be successful, prosperous, and happy? Any wisdom shared is deeply appreciated. It low-key kind of sucks how many people tapped out of the live as soon as I said I wasn't going to do any more free readings. But it also sucks how many people only come here for the free readings. I'm going to be really honest. Like, I can see the people count as I'm doing the general. And there are people that will come in during the general and then tap out and leave and will only come back when it's question time. And then when I put a boundary and say, no, I'm not going to answer 10, 11, 12 questions for maybe $6 in love offerings, people get mad and leave. So I'm really going to have to give some thought to these live streams and how to restructure them, because as much as I love doing them, it's days like this that feel really frustrating, because y'all don't even stay for the general messages. And half the time in the general messages, I'm answering your questions. You won't send $1 or $2 for a love offering. And some of you know who you are. Some of you guys come here every week like clockwork and ask free questions. And then the second that I say, no, I'm not going to do 10 free questions tonight, you leave. So I love this, but today is one of those days where I'm a little frustrated with what I'm experiencing as a little bit of entitlement. And here's the thing. There are some people that do live streams. There are some tarot readers on YouTube that do live streams, and they don't do free questions at all. Unless you send them a minimum of $55 or $60 or something dollars, they won't even address you. So I really need you guys to consider how you show up with your spiritual healers. I really need you guys to think about how you engage with spaces that folks offer you. I know you're still here, Nicole. It's other people that have left. I see the count on StreamYard. And as soon as I said, Sanidra's going to be my last question, 8 people left. So ancestors, angels, ascended masters, spirits will walk with me. Clarify this devil card for Sanidra. What do we need to know about the devil card? Any wisdom shared is deeply appreciated. The biggest thing you want to think about when doing this move is thinking about moving somewhere where there's a good Black community. They want you to move somewhere, and if not specifically a big Black community, somewhere where there's just a good, solid community, period, of shared interests. The very first card that came up was the Tower. Okay? The Tower is here. There's warning in the Tower. If you make this next move impulsively, it will feel chaotic, right? We then have the Devil card. I pulled clarifiers over the Devil card, and I got the 5 of Pentacles and the 3 of Pentacles. The Devil card in this instance is about Capricorn energy, so being very ruthless about getting what you want, being very strategic. Capricorn is the father of the zodiac. They're very methodical. So you need to take time with planning out this next location. 3 of Pentacles, you want to make sure that you're going somewhere where you have a community that functions well together, right? You do not want to move somewhere where there's a lot of isolation and people don't work well together. Because again, going back to that Tower, that is what will cause the Tower moment. If you move somewhere and you don't feel like you have community, you can't speak to your neighbors, you can't talk to them about job referrals and things like that, it will only fuel a dynamic where you have regret. Another thing that's coming up is the 6 of Cups, and I get 2 meanings from this. Think about where your children will thrive. That's the first one. But the second one is there's probably somewhere you've always fantasized about living since you were younger. It could be like a Thailand or a Costa Rica or something like that. So Spirit is also saying, don't hesitate to let a younger version of you use this as an opportunity to go to that place where you always wanted to go. Okay? But in terms of the move, in order to avoid Tower moments of chaos or disconnection, you all have to move somewhere where the community is strong, right? Where people are community minded. If you move somewhere where there's a lot of isolation, that's only going to cause a dynamic where you feel really disconnected, and that disconnection leads to problems later. Okay? All right, I'm going to go ahead and wrap up for the night. I was in a good mood when I got on here, and I want to stay in a good mood, and so I'm going to go ahead and leave. I may not do a Thursday stream. I think I'm hitting one of those walls with streaming where I need to give some thought to how I hold the space and how people engage with the space. I don't like the way tonight felt. I don't like that last 20 minutes really pissed me off. So I have some thinking to do. But I love you all. I hope everybody has an amazing week. I hope that everybody gives themselves the opportunity to position themselves to enter into 2026 in their best energy and in their best light. I'm going to say that. I'm going to be positive. I'm going to leave it there, and I'm going to go watch Welcome to Derry and continue my good mood, okay? I hope you guys have a great day, great week. Everybody take care. Bye.